We are just a week away from one of the biggest cards in the history of the UFC, the biggest return in the history of UFC. The amount of questions that are going to be asked, one winner, one name, someone's going home, someone's never going to be looked at the same again in the entire divisions. We have so much at stake, and that's just talking about the main event. We have an unbelievable co-main. We have an absolutely stacked card. I cannot wait to break this one down. We're going to start with the main event. So, I've been a bit of a flip-flop with this fight. When I first originally thought McGregor was going to get this one, or I thought Holloway was going to get this one done. Then I thought about it a little bit more. I started leaning a little bit more towards McGregor. I thought Holloway's chin is gone. I thought he was coming off a bad loss to Oliveira that's going to knock his confidence massively. And I just thought the timing of this fight for Holloway was absolutely horrific. And I thought the timing of this fight for McGregor was probably the best it was ever going to be to fight Max Holloway, apart from getting chinned by Topuria. Although Max Holloway lost to Charles Oliveira, he lost in a way that isn't really going to apply to this fight. So I was really back and forth in my head, but I'm going Conor McGregor via first round TKO. That is my official prediction for this fight. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're just biased because you're Irish, you know, all this bullshit. No, we're going to have a talk about it. Now, like I said, I originally picked Holloway. This is like a 52-48 fight for me for Conor, because if this fight goes past the first round, McGregor's in trouble. He always has been. Let's just be real. So when I first saw this announced, I thought, okay, Holloway's going to come out very patient. He's going to be very, very selective with his shots. He's not going to push on McGregor. He's going to be smart. He's going to know that McGregor's a first-round fighter. He's going to know that the danger that he presents in that first round, the most dangerous first-round fighter in the history of the UFC, by the way. Let's not kid ourselves. I honestly think one of the most interesting parts of this fight, these are two of the best shot selectors we have ever seen in the UFC. The only difference is McGregor's always been better at chinning people. He's always had that more power. He's always been just a little bit more precise and smarter with his shots. The best shot placer. I always say, bro, I don't even care. McGregor is the greatest striker in the history of the UFC. Nobody was having the head movement. No one knew range like him. No one knew where you were going to be before you did better than McGregor. As much as Holloway is an incredible boxer, probably top 5 of all time, Holloway is a volume puncher. Holloway needs to swarm you with so many strikes because he doesn't have the power to knock you out. Now, if this goes past the second, it is very worrying because McGregor has no gas tank. Holloway has never, ever gassed out in a fight before, but he is at 170, and Holloway has never fought at 170 before. At least McGregor has 5-round experience going the distance at 170. That is at least something to look at, okay? It's at least a positive in the book of McGregor because, listen, elephant in the room, he's not been active. He's not looked after himself. This is the big return. You know, he pulled out of the Chandler fight with a pinky injury. But a lot of stuff has happened in McGregor's life to where the amount of work he could have put in the last maybe year, considering we all know what happened, the court case, that could have given him a different level of focus. But Holloway has been active. He's been new. I've been new. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And that could have given McGregor like a new lease, a new fucking fire. And I think the fact that Holloway's chin has been cracked, he has been knocked out, he's lost through domination through the wrestling. He's lost every single way possible. And it hurts because I'm a huge, huge Max Holloway fan. All of that is going to add up. His chin is not what it once was. I definitely obviously think the fact that Topuria got him at a good time. He got Holloway when he was a raisin, completely weight drained, coming off a bulk to 155. If you were ever going to knock out Holloway, it was going to be then. But people forget, man, like, Gaethje dropped him. Poirier rocked him bad. Topuria knocked him out. Charles was lighting him up on the feet. Charles could have knocked out Holloway on the feet if he decided to keep it standing. But why would you go in there? Like, in fairness to Charles, why would you? Like, honestly, because you're just destroying this guy on the ground. It's an easy win. You're not going to take any damage. And there's no real point in you even trying that. As much as I think it was like a boring fight and that, because it clearly was, it was smart from Oliveira. Obviously, Holloway didn't take much damage in that fight. But Holloway does not like when you get in his face. He doesn't, because he is a rangy volume puncher who likes whenever he throws, he's kind of moving forward with the punches. If you're backing Holloway up, he's never going to be a guy that slips back and counter exactly like McGregor did with Aldo. That's never going to be Holloway. It was never Holloway. If he's going to knock you out, he's in your face, you're up against the cage, and he's just swarming with you with punches. Or you're like Gaethje, but he's being swarming with punches in the middle of the cage. That is how Holloway knocks people out. He's never, ever going to be a step back and hit you with a left hook like McGregor did to Aldo. Never. Or like McGregor did to Alvarez. He's never going to be that fighter. That is a massive advantage for Conor. When Holloway moves forward, there are going to be openings. And that's exactly where I think McGregor's going to catch him. I really do. And I don't think McGregor's going to chin Holloway as regards like the Aldo fight or something like that. Maybe a little bit more of like the Alvarez where he hits him, he goes down, followed by some ground and pound, except this time the ref just doesn't jump in and say, this isn't competitive, this guy's completely finished. Obviously, Holloway is going to still be in there, but I feel like McGregor might be able to just kind of swarm him with punches then, empty the gas tank when Holloway's on the ground. And that's how I think McGregor's going to win. Obviously, Holloway gets to the second round. Odd lines instantly go minus 10,000 for Holloway because, listen, McGregor's been out so long. The gas tank was never good. The gas tank sure as fuck ain't going to be any better now. When you're fighting such a cardio monster like Max Holloway, McGregor will break. That's the thing. McGregor, at this stage of his career, will break. He's not going to outstand it. He's not going to sit in there and just trade with Holloway for 5 rounds or be outranged with Holloway like Gaethje did. It's not going to be like that. Okay, it's not going to be like that. Very interesting to see if McGregor uses a leg kick approach in this game. Okay, because he did that for the Nate trilogy. He took the first 3 rounds, gassed out in the 4th and 5th, but he had already done the damage. And he knocked Nate down in that fight. I don't think we're going to see a patient McGregor like he was against the Diaz, because he was very aware, shit, I gassed out in the last fight. Diaz had that mental advantage over him. Max doesn't have that. If anything, Conor has that because he beat Max, but I think that fight was so long ago. Such different stages of their career. Will Conor go in and grapple? Will McGregor do that? Because we've seen in the Poirier fight, he's shooting guillotines and shit like that. Maybe at this stage of his career, he's like, right, this worked for Oliveira. Let me see if I can go in and implement it. But it would just be such a Max Holloway thing to just stuff all his takedowns. Because as soon as we start seeing McGregor go for a takedown, it's over. It's over. The fight is over. Okay, I don't even care if he gets it. Because as soon as he starts going for takedowns, he knows I'm not good enough to knock this guy out. I need to get him down to save my gas tank and win rounds that way. And if Holloway can stuff them, McGregor is fucked beyond belief. But I just think Holloway's chin is not the same as it was. This is at 170. That's going to give McGregor more power, more advantage. He's not going to be cut as much weight. He's not a big dude like McGregor, as in he's like 5'8". I've seen him in person. He's not a tall dude. And this is going to be a lean McGregor. That's going to give him all the advantage. Holloway was fat at 55 for a while. When he fought Poirier the second time, he was fat. Yes, he has developed more of a lightweight frame, but Holloway's never going to be a 170er naturally, even though he probably has the height. He's never going to be a guy that's absolutely jacked with 170. Like, he's never going to be that guy. He's going to be fat in that cage. How much is that going to implement him? Because he's only fought, 4 months ago or something like that? Now, it is fair that he is not making any weight. The fact that it's at 170, I can't believe this fight is happening. This is such a sick fight. This is such a banger, bro. This is honestly such a fucking banger. Incredible matchmaking. Incredible matchmaking. But Holloway's going to move up to 170. McGregor's been in 170 before. The chin is cracked, and I think that's where the shots are going to be. Because Holloway is very, very hittable. He always has. He's always relied on his chin. He's like Vettori. He's like Pimblett. They're all so hittable, all these guys with granite chins, because they know they can take a shot. What is his chin going to be like with the most precise, one of the most powerful punchers we've ever seen in the history of the sport? The greatest striker in the history of the sport. No matter who you are, no matter what stage of your career you're at, if McGregor lands, you are going to go to sleep if he lands properly. Conor can knock any of these guys out on any given day. That's the level of fighter that we are dealing with. He is special. Greatest striker in the history of the sport. Transcend everything. You can never count him out. But there's just something about this. Now, if Holloway wins, I think we have to look at the cards we're dealt with here. If Holloway wins, let's be real with ourselves here. Best case scenario. Best case scenario. For the actual division, for the sport, McGregor winning, for the division, and the longevity of both of these guys, Holloway winning is so much better. Because if he goes in there and just starches McGregor, that is instantly going to forgive every single fan that maybe didn't watch the Oliveira fight or didn't remember how bad of a domination that it was. He's forgiven. He's straight back in the mix. He's probably going to fight Pimblett, and we're all is forgiven. But if he loses to McGregor, that's it. Like, I think this could be... I feel like the winner... Like, the thing is, a lot of people are saying McGregor is going to fight like Makhachev and Gaethje. He's never going to make 155 again. But if he can, like, Gaethje McGregor is my dream fight. Like, that's the fight I want to see more than any fight in the history of the UFC. That is my dream fight. If it means it can happen from this, holy fuck. That would be absolutely insane. And McGregor would chin Gaethje. Absolutely chin him. Great style. Perfect style, for being completely honest. But if Holloway wins, he's just right back in the mix. And unless McGregor gets a title shot, which I don't even know, the UFC could play it. Here's why. Because if you get the belt, you instantly have another fight on your contract. This could be the UFC's way of being like trapping McGregor in for another fight. Like, they're sleazy like that. But enough about the divisions and all like that. But I feel like early on, Holloway's going to give McGregor his respect. He will start off slow. I think that's the game plan for Holloway. I don't think McGregor's going to be rushing forward and trying to land shots or force shots. I feel like he's going to play maybe some leg kicks and things like that. Holloway's going to throw a few jabs, maybe throws a right hand, and boom, that's when Conor can catch him. Because Conor is an incredible counter striker, okay? He never likes getting backed up because I'm not throwing counters. I mean, so when Conor is just letting himself get backed up, that's terrible. Terrible news. Because back in the day, when Conor would get backed up, that was when the openings would happen. That's when he'd hit you with the left hand or the right hand. He'd take that 1 or 2 step back, move his head back and shook like a left hook or a right hand. They are the shots that are going to work on Holloway. I truly believe that. But Holloway is going to get that respect. And Holloway is smart. He knows the danger that he's in there with. It's not going to be an easy fight for either guy. If it goes past the second round, there is a lot of worry there. There is a lot of worry that McGregor is going to gas and things like that. Listen, we'll see. I need to see it. We have seen it, though. That's the fucking problem, isn't it? We have seen it. We've never seen Holloway gas. But we've seen Holloway dropped in a fucking shitload of fights. The Poirier trilogy, the second Poirier fight, the Gaethje fight, Ilya knocked him out, Charles was landing. People need to stop acting like Holloway doesn't get hit. He's the most hit fighter in the history of the UFC, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's not act like Holloway doesn't get hit. And if you get hit by McGregor, if you get hit in the right spot, it doesn't matter who you are going down, because McGregor is so gifted and good at precision striking. That's where I think the openings are going to lie, and that's where I think Conor McGregor is going to knock out Max Holloway in the first round. That is my official prediction. I cannot wait. I will be doing a live stream for this fight. I just can't wait, bro. I just can't wait. Co-main event. Benoît Saint Denis versus Paddy, lad. You know, Shane, shut up, Joe, you fool, you. You mad fool of a thing. I'm going Benoît Saint Denis. And, very 50-50 fight. When I first saw this announced, I was like, it's a bad fight for Pimblett, to be honest with you. I think Benoit's going to run through him. I just thought those body kicks are going to be too sharp. Pimblett didn't look that good against Justin Gaethje. But rewatching the Gaethje versus Pimblett fight, Pimblett had moments. Like, Pimblett took the third round off Gaethje. He was doing very well with the kicks, very well at range. And Pimblett is so good on the ground. And I rewatched Benoît Saint Denis in a lot of his fights. He loves taking the fight to the ground. That is where Pimblett is going to shine in this fight. He can wrap anybody up. He has absolutely elite jiu-jitsu. But not only does he have elite jiu-jitsu, he has some incredible ground and pound. We saw that against Michael Chandler. It was ruthless, some of the ground and pound that he was laughing. When you are down, if Pimblett gets you in like a body lock or anything like that, you're in trouble. But Benoît Saint Denis, submitting Mauricio Rufy was no easy task. But the problem with Saint Denis, he is so slow with his takedowns. That in and of itself, anyone with decent IQ will throw a knee up the middle and you are getting sparked the fuck out. George Masvidal is licking his fucking lips at a Benoît Saint Denis matchup. One knee up the middle, one uppercut up the middle. You are cooked. You are absolutely cooked. And we've seen Moicano exploit Benoît Saint Denis on the ground. I do have a bit of a theory though. I feel like Saint Denis and Paddy Pimblett won't really work out that way because we've seen Moicano absolutely fucking butcher Benoît Saint Denis on the ground. Now, if he didn't get full mount for the whole round, it would have been a completely different fight. Absolutely, for sure. But he did, and he destroyed him. I don't think Benoît Saint Denis is going to be as eager to get to the fight to the ground because we've seen Pimblett versus Gaethje. Gaethje was just a way better striker than Paddy Pimblett. Like, he was just way better. And I know it's easy to say that because Gaethje's the champ and everything like that, but fuck off with that bullshit. You were picking Ilya to absolutely starch him in the first round because he was a good style. So fucking shut that shit down. Saint Denis' body kicks, I think, are going to be money in this fight. Absolute money in this fight. Because Pimblett, very susceptible to getting hit. He has no problem taking shots. because he's like Max. He's so reliant on that shin, and he has a granite shin. But did get dropped against Gaethje. He did get dropped. Okay, nearly got ground and pounded out. But he held in there. There is not an ounce of quit in Paddy Pimblett. Like, not 1% of him would ever quit. He has no quit in him. He's an absolute fucking soldier. And I'm a huge, huge Paddy Pimblett fan. I love Pimblett. Not the biggest Benoît Saint Denis fan. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I like Pimblett and his personality, lad. You know, I'm Shane. Give me a fucking burger. Yes, lads. I feel like Saint Denis' body kicks are going to add up in this fight. He absolutely has the boxing advantage as well. He's a better striker than Pimblett. It's just how Saint Denis approaches this. Because I feel like if you play a smart game with Paddy Pimblett, he's not necessarily overly hard to beat. Because he never shoots takedowns. Pimblett's never going to be the guy that says, hold on a minute, let me shoot a sharp double leg, get you to the ground, and we can work with that, okay? He's never, ever been the guy to get people to the ground. Because he knows. He's a bit like Oliveira. What fight was it? Pre-Michael Chandler. Oliveira never ever really shot takedowns. He would always just stand with his opponents and let himself get dropped because he knew he was way better than these guys on the feet. If Pimblett was shooting takedowns against Gaethje, would he have got them? Oh, Gaethje's an incredible wrestler. Maybe not. But if he had got the fight to the ground, absolutely would have wrapped Gaethje up. He has some of the best jiu-jitsu in the division. I genuinely think he's up there. Oliveira, Sarukian, people like that. Like, he's incredible. But the problem I just have with Pimblett is he never tries to get it there. And I feel like if Benoît Saint Denis plays a smart game, he's keeping at range, popping the jab, moving, body kick, low kick, because Pimblett fucking never checks any kicks, that is where he's going to be able to win rounds. If he just chops away at the leg, nice body kick, you want to show in a takedown to keep Pimblett guessing, that's fine. Pimblett's output on the feet has absolutely gotten a lot better. His forward pressure is definitely a strength. He throws some nice kicks. He has some nice jabs. But I feel like Benoît Saint Denis is just an overall better striker. And let's not forget, Saint Denis has incredible jiu-jitsu. Some written Mauricio Rufio like that was incredible. Having those grappling exchanges with Poirier, I know he got knocked out, but he was definitely getting the better of Poirier in a lot of those exchanges. Beating the fuck out of Dan Hooker on the ground. You could argue Benoît Saint Denis is just equally as good on the ground as Paddy Pimblett. It's just Paddy Pimblett is more of a threat with the submissions. That's what I would say. That's how I would analyze this. And I feel like if you put it all together, I feel like Benoît Saint Denis just has more ways to win. He's better in more areas. Is he as dangerous as Pimblett? Maybe, but I just feel like Pimblett's so dangerous on the ground that outweighs my expectation of Benoît knocking him out. Because I don't think Benoît Saint Denis is going to knock out Paddy Pimblett, like, even in the fucking slightest. That's where my expectation is. Paddy Pimblett on the ground. Benoît Saint Denis playing a smart game. He's going to win a decision. I don't actually know if this is 5 rounds. If it is 5 rounds, it definitely leans in Pimblett's favor. Just more opportunities. The more opportunities Pimblett has, the better. Because Benoît Saint Denis has to be perfect in this fight. Because Pimblett's so awkward, wrap you up and stuff. He's got incredible knees up the middle. And that is what, like I was saying, a good knee up the middle. Like we saw him drop Tony Ferguson with an incredible knee. If he lands a knee like that on Benoît Saint Denis, maybe he goes down. Fuck, that knee up the middle is going to actually be hella dangerous. But I'm still going Benoît Saint Denis. I feel like he's a smarter fighter. I think he's just a little bit cleaner. But he is just so slow. And I hope Pimblett wins, man. I hope Pimblett wins. I don't want Benoît Saint Denis to win at all. Because Paddy at the top of the sport is just better. And hey lads, give me the winner of the main events. Max O'Connor. I don't care. That's what Pimblett. I want these moments. I want these moments, bro. And I can't wait. I'm going to go with Benoît Saint Denis. I'll give Pimblett his respect. I'm going to go with Benoît Saint Denis. Actually, no, I'm going to go 30-27. Maybe a 29-26. We'll see. 29-28, sorry, what am I on about? 29-26. 29-28, Benoît Saint Denis, one I'm going to go. Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Batista. Enter the Sandman. The UFC really just looked at me, specifically me, and said, alright, we're going to lob all of your favorite fighters on this card. Sandhagen, McGregor, Holloway, Pimblett, Saint Denis, Royval, Kavanagh, Whitaker. Oh my days! The UFC have absolutely banged with this card. This is worrying. As a huge Corey Sandhagen fan and as someone who looked at Corey Sandhagen as like a scientist of the game one week, but then just an absolute skateboarder the next, going to be interesting to see what kind of Corey comes out. Mario Batista showed how good of a striking game that he has, particularly in his hands, with the Umar Nurmagomedov fight. And Corey just, I won't say Corey got dominated by Umar, but he just was one step behind. And now Mario Batista did only have 3 rounds with Umar. I think that plays a massive factor as well. And this when Umar was on the come up, because let's be honest, Umar hasn't looked exactly great in his last couple of fights. He is booked, against Song Yadong. So that's going to be an interesting fight. I think that's an easy fight. I think he'll destroy Song Yadong, but still, Mario Batista definitely showed an improved striking game in that Umar Nurmagomedov fight, dropping him as well. Sandhagen didn't even really look that much of a threat. He just looked like he was having extremely competitive scrambles, very good striking exchanges, but Umar was just better. And that is what it kind of boiled down to, is that Umar was just kind of one step ahead of Sandhagen in the striking and in the grappling, but only one step ahead. Like, Corey was doing extremely well with those scrambles, but Umar would just kind of do 1 or 2 things differently, and he would just kind of end up on top, or really get better at the exchanges, get better takedowns and things like that. Whereas Batista, I feel like when Batista rocked Umar, I feel like that kind of demanded the respect, whereas Corey didn't really get that respect. He was fighting in Abu Dhabi, so obviously they were making Umar win. I'm not saying it was a robbery or anything like that, but they wanted Umar to win. Whereas Mario sat him down early and said, "Fuck you, I'm in this fight." Where Corey, he was trying to be the one to figure out the puzzle. Whereas Batista said he got the puzzle and went like that, like, "Fuck your puzzle, we're fighting." Where Corey was like, "Right, I want to beat you at your own game." As Lucas Tracy said, the beacons and test tubes or something like that. The skateboarder Corey needs to come out. The guy that's just going in there and doing the shit that he wants to do and is having fun, compared to the guy who's trying to figure out the puzzle. This is going to be interesting because Mario Batista is extremely dangerous everywhere. Like, he picked up a submission win over Vinicius Oliveira, which was an incredible win, and that showed the danger that he presents on the ground. Like, he's got a few submissions, especially rear naked chokes, early on in his UFC career the last couple of years. Where Sandhagen, I feel like Sandhagen's a bit like MVP. Now hear me out here. I don't want to disrespect Sandhagen just yet, but if you're not but if you're not begging to be fucking flatline KO'd like Frankie Edgar or Marlon Moraes, he's not going to KO you. He's going to take his time and things like that. I just feel like if you're not begging to be splattered, if you're not a fucking egg waiting to be cracked, then Sandhagen's not going to finish you. He has no power in his hands. The best thing Sandhagen can do is throw like a knee up the middle. And even then, he doesn't really have a submission game. Like, when's the last time we saw Sandhagen submit everyone? He couldn't finish Cheeto. Now, I picked him to destroy Cheeto. Any MMA fan with a brain was picking Sandhagen to win that fight. So let's just put this all to bed that Sandhagen is this elite finisher who's got an incredible, submission ability and stuff like that. He couldn't submit Cheeto or anything like that. So, just everyone just pipe down here a little bit. Okay. Gonna go with Corey Sandhagen. Okay. I feel like the low kicks are going to be very valuable. I think Batista has absolutely power in his hands. I do think Corey's got a great chin. Jan is the only one that's really going to be able to drop him and stuff like that. I feel like Marab hurt him in the second round and was kind of like overwhelming him almost. But I feel like we're going to see Scientist Corey here. I feel like he's going to be able to figure Batista out. He's going to be able to shoot takedowns when appropriate. We've never seen Sandhagen get submitted. I feel like he's got a very, very good ability to control people. We've seen that with like Cheeto, Rob Font, even Figueiredo. He was absolutely butchering him on the feet. And I feel like that's going to be the advantage because Sandhagen has such incredible movement. Batista never has seen movement like that. He saw it against Umar and lost. Just being real with ourselves here. And Sandhagen's got such experience. I think stylistically, it's going to take a unique one to beat a Corey Sandhagen. Like an Umar, like an O'Malley. Even though I think Sandhagen would beat O'Malley. A Jan. I feel like a lot of the strikers with ability to kick and get in your face are going to give Sandhagen a problem. Whereas O'Malley, much more of a counterpuncher. Batista, a little bit slower. He's going to try bombard you. But with Corey's movement, I think that's where he's going to have success. Popping the jab, very, very important to get the low kicks. I believe he's still with Trevor Whitman. And listen, Trevor Whitman's a master of putting on a game plan. So that's where I'm getting my confidence in Sandhagen. We see him do it against, I don't want to keep bringing up Cheeto and things like that because it is Cheeto was kind of shit, but still. Even the Jan fight was incredibly competitive. I feel like the low kicks are going to be the biggest thing for Corey Sandhagen in this fight because that's going to slow down Batista. Then you can start implementing your grappling. That's how you're going to win rounds. Corey has absolutely got more boring over the years. Like, there's no question about that compared to the guy that was knocking out Edgar, knocking out Marlon Moraes and things like that. He's definitely taken a more safe approach. And I feel like when you're fighting Mario Batista, that is the approach you have to have. You can't be going in there. You can't be going in there just having a war with him like you did against Yan, or taking massive risks, because guys like Batista can put you out, okay? Because Batista has more power in his hands than Yan. Okay, but Yan's just way more of a sharpshooter. Feel like Corey's going to have the range. He's going to have the fight IQ. Implement the takedowns where possible when Batista's least expecting it, when he's very worried about his low kick. That's when he implements the grappling, because that's going to be where the opportunities are. He's not exactly a massive boxer, Corey. He has a knee up the middle and things like that. Only if he was fighting Benoît Saint Denis would be easy work. And I feel like if you put it all together, Corey's got more of an arsenal, which I think is going to be the biggest thing in this fight. Because Batista has hands and he has a good submission game. If Corey can just kind of pick at him at range and things like that, I think he's going to have success. Stay away from the cage, and I feel like Corey's going to be fine. If he's getting backed up against his cage, like he did in the second round against Merab, that's when the openings for Mario Batista are going to come. Body shots for Batista are going to be important. Nice hooks to the body, jabs, things like that. They're all going to add up for Sandhagen, because we've seen him not gas out, but he definitely doesn't keep the same pace as the fight goes on, especially in the fourth and the fifth. This is the 3-rounder. Will that suit Batista more? I don't really know, because Corey's so used to a 5-round fight. I can't remember the last time Corey Sandhagen was in a 5-rounder, to be honest with you. Many, many years ago. This card, bro. Oh my God. It's just, Christmas came early. Christmas came early, boys. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. But Corey Sandhagen, 29-28. Not 29-26. 29-28. Another 29-28. Lonnie Kavanagh versus Brandon Royval. Now listen. If you know me, you know how far back me and Lonnie Kavanagh go. Amateur days is how long I've been watching Lonnie Kavanagh. But there will be no bias in this video, because I'm actually picking Lonnie Kavanagh to lose. And a lot of people I see picking Lonnie Kavanagh are like, oh, well, just too fresh, bro. He's just too young, dog. He's a fucking machine, man. Fuck off. No one was picking him to beat Brandon Moreno apart from like me and like 2 people. Okay? Styles make fights. This is the perfect style for Brandon Royval. Yes, got slimed out against Manel Cape. Okay, let's get the elephant out of the room here, guys. Okay, but got slimed out by Manel Cape. Lonnie Kavanagh, he got slimed out by Charles Johnson. He didn't slime out Brandon Moreno. And I feel like Brandon Moreno let Lonnie Kavanagh not win, but he gave him the perfect game plan. He gave him all the space in the world. That is how you beat Brandon Moreno. You know how? Royval did the exact same thing. Moreno gave him the room, gave him the range, gave him the space, and he gave him the time to do whatever he wants. Because Moreno is a countered striker. He wants you in his face. He wants a war. But as soon as you get on the back foot and you start jabbing, you start low kicking, you start taking your time, Moreno just like that at range doesn't try and engage, doesn't try and get in your face, because he's such a counter striker. He doesn't want to be chasing you. He doesn't want to get in your face. Whereas Lonnie just played the perfect game plan. Lonnie got in the pocket when he needed to, used his range, used his jab, right hand, and he outclassed Moreno. Moreno later round started grappling, but it was too little too late, because Lonnie was just way quicker than him. And I think Lonnie, the fact that he's 5'6", very small for the weight class. Royval is 5'9". Massive for 125. Royval is going to be in his fucking face from the very first bell, and that is going to be the difference in this fight. I genuinely believe if you get in Lonnie Kavanagh's face, exactly like Charles Johnson did, Lonnie's in trouble. And that is where his downfall is going to be. When he is met with pressure, exactly like Charles Johnson showed. You know, Lonnie was absolutely dancing on him. He was doing whatever he wanted. But then Charles Johnson, they're putting on the pace. Then Charles Johnson chinned him. And Lonnie Kavanagh kind of gassed out a little bit. He kind of had his hands down, backing up. Boom! Absolutely starched him out. Royval is going to be in his face. He does it in pretty much every fight. He loves getting in people's faces. Joshua Van is a perfect example of that. He's going to be able to go in there and break Lonnie Kavanagh. That's what I think. I feel like he's going to finish Lonnie Kavanagh. I feel like he's going to be able to get in his face. The forward pressure, the combinations are going to be way too much. Because that 15-minute war he had with Joshua Van, I don't think Lonnie Kavanagh is lasting in that fight. A, I don't think his gas tank is there, and I think B, he's not used to those wars, whereas Joshua Van is a fucking dog. Now, that was Joshua Van's first war as well, so maybe Lonnie has it in him, but I seen him gas out against Charles Johnson. That's bad. We've never seen Van gas out. We've never seen Royval gas out. All of these guys have massive 5-round championship experience. Royval's been how many main events? Now, I know Lonnie just went 5 rounds, but man, when Moreno lets you do what you want, you're obviously going to win. Like, come on, bro. Like, you just let him dance at him at range and pick his shots. Royval's not going to do that. That people forget, man, the amount of forward pressure Royval brings to fights. Openings are going to be there. Knees up the middle, jabs, right hands. And what if the fight goes to the ground? Brandon Royval is as dangerous as it gets. You know what I mean? Look at the Tatsuratura fight. 3-1 underdog. I called that, by the way. Was able to get it done. I feel like Royval gets these kind of fights done. And that's what it boils down to. The style is perfect for Royval. Yes, Lonnie is so dangerous. Yes, he's got the speed. Yes, maybe he'll catch Royval coming in, because when Royval comes in, there's going to be openings. It's pretty fucking insane that I'm talking about. Like, listen, real G's, if you're a fan of this channel, but like an actual fan, A, you're watching half an hour in, so thank you. And B, you understand the history me and Royval actually have. Like, in person, not in person, but online. Okay, me and Royval have a little bit of history the last couple of, maybe last 4 years. Me and Royval have, not beef, but let's just say he followed me on Instagram and we used to talk. And then he unfollowed me and he just went downhill and lost to Pantoja. Not saying that's a coincidence, but if the shoe fits, you know what I mean? But I'm going to go with Brandon Royval via second round TKO. I feel like he's going to get Lonnie Kavanagh with a load of pressure. Lonnie's going to gas out. He's going to throw big shots. Royval's going to eat them. That's where the gas tank is going to be depleted. I'm going to go with Royval via second round TKO. Forward pressure is Lonnie Kavanagh's worst nightmare. And he's small, bro. He's 5'6". He's tiny. He's not a big flyweight at all. He'd probably make 115 if it was there. Strawweight division. Royval's big. And he's had experience. He's never gassed out. I'm going to go with Lonnie Kavanagh. Or I'm going to go with Lonnie Kavanagh getting finished on this one. And I'm actually quite confident with the style of this fight. I am worried, not worried, but I feel like Lonnie can absolutely have success because he's so sharp, he's so quick and things like that. But I'm going to go with Royval. I'm going to go with Royval. Bobby Green versus Terrence McKinney. What a fucking scrap. I'm going to go with Terrence McKinney first round TKO. McKinney, I was rewatching Guru's video of McKinney and him beefing. What a video that is. But I feel like McKinney's going to catch Green. His forward pressure, going to be too much. He's got a beautiful 1-2 down the pipe. Bobby Green is at that stage of his career where he's very, very chinny. He's very hittable. He has not been putting on good performances the last couple of years. All those knocks, all those KOs, the Jalen Dunner one, all going to add up. Terrence McKinney's disappointing though, bro, because Terrence McKinney never kicked on. Like, I feel like I've been hearing the same shit about Terrence McKinney my whole life. The last 5 years of just the kid is a prospect, but he never ever touched a ranking. Like, you've been in the UFC 5 years. You need to be fighting ranked opponents by now, okay? And then, listen, Officer Dober clearly knocked out McKinney, but still, I feel like Officer Dober. I feel like McKinney's going to lose, or win, sorry. I feel like he's going to starch Bobby Green. He's going to get in his face. Bobby Green's very hittable. What a fucking scrap. Look at this main card. Like, look at that. Look at that for, like, the feature fight and things like that. And then we have that banger main event. Like, you will not see a card with better name value, to be honest with you. Like, we are spoiled, bro. We're blessed as UFC fans to have this. Terrence McKinney, first round TKO. Robert Whittaker versus Nikita Krylov. Back and forth in my head on this one. Nikita Krylov is going to have a massive, massive size advantage. Going Robert Whittaker, though. I feel like Robert Whittaker's crafty. I feel like Robert Whittaker's got very good range. He's probably going to be able to do very well with the low kicks. Get in the face of Nikita Krylov. This is a former world champion with loads of experience. I feel like he's going to bring up that crafty vet moves from middleweight. And I feel like Nikita Krylov is just so basic. I don't really look at Nikita Krylov and think you do anything great. I feel like you've got decent hands and things like that. But Whittaker, I feel like the forward pressure. I keep saying forward pressure, but I think forward pressure is a key to a lot of these fights. He's going to be able to get in his face. I feel like the movement's going to be quite hard for Nikita Krylov to fight, because nobody moves like, you know, Whittaker apart from maybe like Yuri in a way and things like that. Carlos Ulberg has quite good movement. But Nikita Krylov is very limited. He's quite mid, for just being honest with ourselves here. And I think Robert Whittaker's proven to be a vet. So I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker. He's going to be outmatched, though. His chin isn't great. Whittaker's never had a great chin, if we're being honest with ourselves here. And Nikita Krylov is very limited. But I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker, 29-28. I feel like it's going to be a close fight. It could be a card where there's loads of finishes. Fuck it, I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker, second round TKO. Fuck it. Gable Stevenson making his MMA debut. I hope Gable Stevenson gets absolutely fucking flatlined. But of course that's not going to happen. I want a fan to bring up this guy. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We all know. It's funny this because Gable Stevenson must have found a loophole in the MMA system because, hold on, I'll move my face here. As we can see here, he's 0-0 here. So Gable Stevenson must have found a loophole in the MMA system to get signed to the UFC on his debut. I can't quite figure out what that loophole is, but he must have found a loophole in the system to get away with it. To get away with getting to the UFC in his MMA debut. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Nothing to do with anything else, of course. Just must have found a loophole in the system to avoid that. To avoid the harsh consequences of his actions of climbing the ranks, having to go through the Contender Series, having to fight on the LFA and things like that. The harsh reality of what Gable Stevenson has found a loophole of. Interesting. Listen, Gable Stevenson's going to win. Submission, KO. Oh shit, I didn't mean to click that. My bad. My screen is just bugging here on the right. There we go. Listen, obviously Gable Stevenson's going to win. Obviously Gable Stevenson's going to have a good first round performance, finish, submission, whatever he really wants. Look, he's a minus 2,500 favorite. 2,500 favorite. You can't see it on that screen, but still, easy work. Easy work for Gable Stevenson. Funny how he trains with John Jones. Very funny. Must be lacking respect for a certain kind of person. Listen, fuck Gable Stevenson. Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. Man, Cody Garbrandt is getting slept out bad. Cody Garbrandt is getting flatlined the fuck out again. Adrian Yanez has hands. Never really kicked on. You know, I remember when he got chinned by Rob Font. That was crazy. He had some good fights like Berkey Simon and things like that. Cody Garbrandt's getting flatlined, man. Adrian Yanez is too much of a sharpshooter. He's got too much power in his hands. These are the cards that I remember. These cards are like the old UFC. We need a stacked Ian Gary versus Islam Makhachev. Holy fuck, this card is sick. Yeah, I feel like Cody's going to absolutely lay out Adrian Yanez. Or sorry, Cody's getting laid out by Adrian Yanez. Yanez is too much of a sharpshooter. Too much in his hands. Cody's chin is absolutely extinct. Adrian Yanez. Luke Riley. Listen, I'm worried for Luke Riley in this fight. Because Luke Riley made his UFC debut in Qatar. And then in London, mate. You know what I'm saying? Been on Cage Warriors and things like that. I've been at every single one of Luke Riley's UFC fights. So I'm a bit worried that he's going to miss me in the corner. Because I seem to be a good luck charm. I can't quite figure out why. And I seem to be Shamrock's kryptonite. But yeah, Luke Riley's going to win. Luke Riley's going to beat Kai Kamaka. He's unbelievable boxer. I don't know if anyone saw the Luke Riley Cage Warriors War, one of the best fights that you will ever see. The best Cage Warriors fight in history. Luke Riley is an absolute dog. I really like this guy. I think he's got incredible boxing. Haven't really seen the grappling. Very shaky first round in his debut. Put it all together in the second round and knocked him the fuck out. And I'm expecting the same thing here. But I'm expecting a Luke Riley first round TKO. Didn't exactly look great in his last fight. Have to remember, co-main events, London, you're not going to just flatline every single UFC opponent. You're fighting the best fighters in the world, okay? I definitely think Luke played it a little bit too safe. I feel like that guy had a really good chin as well. Not that Luke played it safe, but he was definitely very weary to engage because I feel like he was just winning the rounds. But when he lost the first round, I feel like that kind of sparked a light under Luke's ass. Like, right, I've lost the first round here. Only 2 more rounds. If I lose this round, I have to finish this guy. I'm going to put a little bit more forward pressure. But he was just kind of like winning the London fight quite comfortably. And that's kind of where the issue came because he's like, right, I'm winning. I don't need to take any massive risks. I'm not down around. I feel like he's going to go in there and flatline this guy. I feel like this is a great style. Oh, what a card, man. I just can't wait. I actually can't wait for this card. It's going to be sick. Going to go with Luke Riley first round TKO. I think he's going to redeem himself. Tracy Cortez is always an incredible watch. Wang Kong, listen, Tracy Cortez is going to win. I've seen some mad shit about her and Brian Ortega, bro. She seems fucking crazy if it's true. But listen, I always enjoy watching Tracy Cortez. I always think she's enjoyable to watch. She's got some great fight style, great attributes, great athleticism. I'm going to go with Tracy Cortez on that one. And the rest of the card, you know, Cody Durden probably going to win. Ryan Gandra's going to win. Ethan Ewing, that's actually what I want to talk about. Ethan Ewing striking. I saw somewhere that this fight might be off. This is a fucking scrap. This is an absolute scrap. Farid Bashrat, undefeated. I'm going to go with Ethan Ewing via decision. 29-28. I love 29-28. Absolute war. And I think Ethan Ewing's so good. But this is a fucking tough fight, though. This is a fucking banger fight. Gonna go with Ethan Ewing on that one. But that is my full card, and then Cesar Almeida's getting spanked. That is my full card breakdown of Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. What do we think? How do we think this is gonna go? Thank you all so much for the love on the channel lately. It means the fucking world, and thanks for watching.